Welcome back to Jackleg show. Before I get started, I have to address something. The last show we did, you guys know we did it up at that studio that those guys run up at the middle school, and I brought in a lot of that new Jackleg barbecue sauce that we were really excited about being able to offer all you nice folks out there. And I just want to state right up front that it's normal to cook food with alcohol. Those fancy French people do it all the time, and you never hear anybody complaining. And I can't help it if some of them youngsters decided they just wanted to drink, straight barbecue sauce. I mean, who does that? Nobody does that. That wasn't my fault. We'll have some more on that later. Some kind of interesting did happen recently. A lot of you folks remember that I've been talking a lot about my friend Jack. Well, he's not really a friend, more of a competitor in this business, but he's a good songwriter. Old Pegleg out of Tennessee. He's got himself a woman now, tends to him, looks after him, and he's got a lot of free time in his hands. And he watches a lot of TV, reads a lot of newspapers, keeps up on things that most of us don't really have time to do. And I got word he was trying to get a hold of me, and I went up to the library and called him up on one of those payphones, and I said, yeah, what do you want? And he says to me, Jackleg, I got something I need you to do for me. And I said, what's that? He says, well, I was reading in this newspaper about an old blues man. Lives up there near you. I said, uh-huh. He said he died. Died with no name, no money, no nothing. Just laying up there at that morgue, that county morgue. Never going to spend a couple $100 and bury him. And that just didn't sit right with old Pegleg. And to be truthful with you, it didn't sit all that right with me either. And old Pegleg, he says, I want you to get on up there and I want you to go play at that funeral. Whatever kind of funeral they got for him, an old homeless blues man with no money, no nothing, dying without a name, that just didn't seem right. And old Pegleg, he says to me, you get on up there and you do that for all of us. I couldn't argue with him. It's the least we could do. So I found out when it was, took the bus on up to that county cemetery. It was a little bit of a ways for me, but I decided I might as well get on up there and do it. Do what I could. And, buses being the way buses are, and maps being the way maps are, I admit I got there a little late. Wasn't really my fault. Just sort of happened to me. And I walked on up the hill, and by the time I got there wasn't nothing but a hole in the ground and some county workers sitting over in the back of their trucks having lunch. I could have turned around and left, but that's not how I am. And I didn't want to disappoint old Pegleg out in Tennessee either. Just wasn't something I was ready to do. So I walked on over to that hole, and I broke out my guitar, and I started to play. And the more I played, the more I just wanted to sing, and I started to sing, and I'm not a big singer. But something came over me as I stood over that hole thinking about that poor homeless man. Going through his whole life, nothing but the blues, nothing but his guitar, nothing but his music, no friends, no family, no nothing. And I guess I was getting on pretty good that day, because the harder I played, the more them county workers started to pay attention to me. And sure enough, they started putting down their lunches and they walked over to that hole and they started singing along with me. Before long, all of us started weeping, crying like babies. The more they cried, the more I started to cry. The louder they wept, the more I would start playing and singing. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever played so good in my whole life. There just something came over me. And that went on for a while. And I eventually packed up my guitar, thinking about Pegleg back in Tennessee. And what a good thing it was that he asked me to come do this. Even though there weren't a lot of people there to see what was going on, I felt better about it. I know he did, and I know them county workers probably did. Because as I was turning around and walking down the hill, I heard one of them county workers say, I've been putting in septic tanks for 20 years, and that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. Hi everybody, Jackleg Jones here with our new exciting product from the Jackleg Farms. All natural, homegrown duck jerky. We make it fresh here in the farms. You can't get a better piece of duck jerky anywhere in the United States, no matter what that Pegleg tells you. This is some good stuff. Ain't that right? All natural, natural smoke, all the flavor you'd ever want in a piece of good duck jerky.